Resolutions of the Texas Brigade. Camp Texas Brigade, January 24, 1865. At a meeting of the 1st, 4th, and 5th Texas and Arkansas Regiments, composing the Texas Brigade of Field's Division, Longstreet's Corps, Army of North Virginia, on motion of Sergeant Major J. H. Leet, 1st Texas Regiment, Private B. S. Fitzgerald was chosen chairman, and on motion of Private W. H. Burgess, Company D, 4th Texas, Lieutenant Haywood Brahan, Company F, 4th Texas, was appointed secretary. Lieutenant Brahan, being called upon, explained the object of the meeting and a few brief and appropriate remarks. On motion of Private W. H. Burgess, Company D, 4th Texas, a committee of 5 from each regiment was appointed to draft resolutions expressive of the sense of the meeting. The following is the committee as appointed by the chairman, viz. Sergeant Major J. H. Leet, Sergeants F. M. Story, Company D, J. P. Surratt, Company H, and W. A. Shelton, Company I, and Private J. T. Clark, Company E, 1st Texas. Privates W. H. Burgess, Company D, D. A. Todd, Company B, T. D. Williams, Company E, and William Morris, Company F, and Sergeant William F. Baines, Company G, 4th Texas. Lieutenant B. P. Fuller, Company A. Sergeants M. A. J. Evans, Company E, and T. F. Meese, Company K, and Privates Thomas Haney, Company H, and H. C. Shea, Company F, 5th Texas. Assistant Surgeon C. H. A. Kleinschmidt. Captains A. C. Jones, Company G, and W. H. Harrison, Company E, and Privates J. H. Goldsby, Company K, and R. W. O'Connor, Company F, 3rd Arkansas. The committee then retired to consider the preparation of resolutions. During the recess, the meeting was agreeably and pleasantly entertained by eloquent and patriotic speeches from Lieutenant Colonel C. M. Winkler and Private T. D. Williams, 4th Texas. At the close of Private Williams' speech, the committee, through its chairman, Sergeant Major J. H. Leet, reported the following resolutions, which, on motion of Lieutenant Colonel C. M. Winkler, were unanimously adopted by the meeting. Resolutions. Whereas we have seen with feelings of sadness the clouds of gloom and despondency that have recently gathered in the sky of our young nation, but which are now happily being dispelled by returning confidence. Therefore we, the Army, who are the people, and the people who are the country, deem it not inappropriate, but fit and proper that we should, in a meeting composed of the Texas Brigade, comprising the 1st, 4th, and 5th Texas and 3rd Arkansas Regiments, make known to our fellow soldiers, to our country, the enemy, and to the world, our purpose and determination to maintain at all hazards and to the last extremity the rights and liberties which a merciful God has been so pleased to bestow upon us, and even to contend for a perpetual separation from the hated and despised foe, who have murdered our gray-haired fathers, insulted our women and children, and turned out thousands of helpless families to starve after robbing them and burning their houses, leaving them destitute of all except their honor. Therefore be it resolved, first, that before the commencement of the great struggle for our rights and liberties, we considered well the causes and consequences for which we were about to take up arms, that our cause was just, and that no sacrifice was so great that it could not be made in defense of such a cause, that we have gone boldly forward now for nearly 4 years, and our determination has not abated, but increased, having had a clearer view of the character of the brutal foe with whom we contend, and gained from experience and close contact with them. Certainly no one now can be so blind and stupid as not to agree with us that the warning was of inspiration, and that then was the auspicious time to strike for our rights, and that we are fully determined to go forward as we have done, and if need be, to renew our pledges of devotion to our country, and that we will rid ourselves of the tyranny the enemy would thrust upon us, or die in the attempt. Resolved, second, that whilst we die battling in a cause, the most sacred, for liberty and independence, against a people so base, treacherous, and despised, that language fails us to properly portray our detestation of them, we cannot be indifferent lookers on at those in our own country, who would divide and distract the councils of the nation, and tear down the presentable and patriotic administration, and at the same time give aid and comfort to the enemy, to politicians and demagogue newspaper editors, men in and out of position, croakers, and those who are firing in the rear, and those who pull down whilst we build up. We warn you that there is a point beyond which you cannot go with impunity, that nothing will deter us from the prosecution of our purpose, whether it be our open enemies in the front, or the hidden and less respectable enemy in our midst, for the latter of whom we take this occasion to express our most hearty scorn and contempt. Resolved, third, that after calmly considering the present situation of affairs in the Confederate States, we can see little cause, if any, for losing confidence in our final success, but on the contrary, much on which to congratulate ourselves. In the beginning of this war, 4 years ago, we were a peaceful, unwarlike people, following quietly our ordinary avocations, totally unused and uneducated to warfare. Our men had to be organized. The material and appliances with which we have so often routed the enemy had to be made from the errand state. And now let the world say if we have not accomplished much. That there is much yet to be done, we admit, and we declare ourselves prepared to undertake it. Let us look back to Manassas, the first and second, Gaines Farm, Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg, Wilderness, and hundreds of other fields where Confederates have shown a heroism almost unequaled in all past ages, and let us take new courage if any have grown weary. We may also admit that the enemy have large armies, but it is the Babel of modern times, in which is represented the African shoulder to shoulder with his brother, the Yankee, who sells himself for a bounty and deserts and sells himself again. The man with the broke so rich, so avaricious Hessian, and the dungeons of Europe are largely represented. It is not possible that such a heterogeneous mass can be united in one common object, whilst we, on the contrary, are a unit in our resolution of purpose to be free and independent of those who would kill 8 millions of whites or enslave them, in order to give a pretended freedom to half that number of African Negroes. Let us go bravely on. Peace must come sooner or later, and with it our independence. Our final triumph is certain and inevitable, and our subjugation is an impossibility. Resolved, fourth, that we can say with perfect confidence to our friends in Texas, Arkansas, and the Trans-Mississippi Department that at the front all is bright, brilliant, and hopeful. We congratulate them on having, during the past campaign, driven the enemy far back from their frontiers. We ask them to stand firmly by their armies, protect the wives and the children of absent soldiers, and to tolerate no man who will go back in the Union with the Yankees, but to punish such treachery as it deserves. Resolved, fifth, that in President Davis, the wise, patriotic, good Chief Magistrate of the Confederate States, we repose the most perfect confidence and respect, tendering him our warmest sympathies and cooperation in the onerous duties and responsibilities resting upon him. Resolved, sixth, that for General Robert E. Lee, the great soldier, father, and friend of his army, we have the love and veneration that dutiful children owe their father, that we will always follow where he may direct, and assure him at all times of our hearty support and cooperation. Resolved, seventh, that we invite all organizations in the armies of the Confederate States to come forward and show to the world by an expression of their sentiments their unalterable purpose and determination to conquer an honorable peace. Resolved, eighth, that the Secretary furnish a copy of these resolutions and proceedings of this meeting to each of the newspapers published in Richmond, Virginia, and that the Texas and Arkansas papers and all others friendly to the cause be requested to copy. Also, that a copy be sent to President Davis, General R. E. Lee, the Texas and Arkansas senators and representatives in Congress, and to the governors of Texas and Arkansas. Private W. H. Burgess, 4th Texas, and Captain A. C. Jones, 3rd Arkansas, being called upon, addressed the meeting in an appropriate, eloquent, and patriotic style. Their speeches were received with great applause and enthusiasm. On motion of Lieutenant Colonel C. M. Winkler, 4th Texas, the meeting adjourned. B. S. Fitzgerald, Chairman. Haywood Brahan, Secretary. stopping by, Lady Carrie Ann.